All right, everyone. Our old pal Gene Shaheen is at it again. Yes, Gene Shaheen, link in the description, archived, of course, saying, remove Andrew Jackson from the $20 bill. Replace him with Harriet Tubman. I agree with 50% of the proposal. The first part, I don't agree with replacing him with Harriet Tubman. Typically, our currency has featured past presidents. So I would proffer Calvin Coolidge or Theodore Roosevelt, past president of note, of meaning. That's fine. Now, the reason why I approve of removing Andrew Jackson is because Andrew Jackson would find the Federal Reserve to be an abomination. And if we could bring him back for one day, the outraged remarks that he would make, both about the $20 bill and him being on it, as well as the current fiscal structure, he'd have a stroke. He wouldn't even be around for the entire day. Andrew Jackson was a vigorous opponent of central banking and debt and things like that. And so he wouldn't want to be on the currency. If anything, I think that it's almost a middle finger to him that he's on the $20 bill, the most often used bill. I have a feeling that they did that on purpose. I have a feeling that they put him on there because they wanted to disgrace him. And he's rolling over in his grave at the moment because he's on the $20 bill. Now, while I like Andrew Jackson, and some of the stories about him are off the chain. No, he wouldn't want to be on the currency, nor for that matter, might Harriet Tubman want to be on the currency. And it would be unprecedented again to have a person on the currency that wasn't a former president. I think that Theodore Roosevelt, Silent Cal, and certain others would be Ronald Reagan. I'll put him on there. Yeah, put Richard Nixon on the $20 bill just to spite the liberals. That would be funny. And anytime you change the currency, of course, it comes at tremendous cost to actually change the currency, which is an irony. Personally, I would just leave it as is, generally speaking. But in this one particular instance, I think that Grant would be happy to be on the $50 bill. I think that Washington would be perfectly fine with being on the $1 bill. Abraham Lincoln hamming it up, all of these others, they wouldn't have a problem with it. Jackson uniquely, though, specifically would basically disown the goddamn country if he knew that he was circulating around in everyone's hands all the time and that the notes were just Federal Reserve notes. He would be apoplectic with rage, actually. So, yeah, Shaheen, at least on the first part of your proposal, fundamentally you're right. It's just that Harriet Tubman would not be a suitable replacement. The Republicans probably should get out ahead of this while Trump is in office and explain to Trump Jackson's particular views on central banking and fiscal situations and stuff. Alert him to the fact, hey, he probably wouldn't like the fact that he's the face of the $20 bill. Again, the most widely circulated one of them all at this point, other than maybe the single dollar. Therefore, we suggest that he be removed out of respect to him. You'll have to frame it that way, and it is the problem. You're not lying to him when you say that, by the way, and put on somebody, Theodore Roosevelt would be my pick. Other people have mentioned Coolidge. I like Coolidge. He was born here in Vermont. He's buried here in Vermont. I've been to his homestead. By the way, they have delectable saltwater taffy in the little general store that's there. Quite nice. Apparently, he had an electric horse actually as a child that he rode for exercise and stuff like that. It was a really cool museum and exhibit. You can walk around the grounds and go in the house and stuff. I've been there, I think, twice actually. Went there on a school field trip once, and then another time went I think I went with my mom one time when I was a kid. Pretty nice. It's a pretty great place. You should check it out. It's right now nestled in the mountains of Vermont. It's great. But yeah, Coolidge would be fine. But couch it in those terms, alert Trump to the fact that he wouldn't even want to be on the currency, and then suggest somebody else. I still think Theodore Roosevelt would probably be the best fit. Is there any currency that Theodore Roosevelt is actually on at the moment? That's strange. You can be on Mount Rushmore, but you can't be on a piece of paper. I don't know. I'd be surprised. Yeah, it should be Theodore Roosevelt. It would be a unity symbol too, because here you have somebody who was effectively a left-leaning Republican, and so it would be Trump could take it to the public and probably easily get that passed because, hey, I'm appeasing my party, but I'm also appeasing, this other ideology. Now, Theodore Roosevelt wasn't a progressive in the sense that modern progressives are. It was a little bit different, trust busting and stuff like that. But yeah, it'd be a proper fit. As for Andrew Jackson, hardcore dude. He got that, what was it, 2,000 pound cheese wheel or something like that, then distributed it among all the poor in DC. And he fought alongside pirates and freed slaves. And he used to duel people, never died in any of them, obviously. He used to get drunk with his friends at the bar and they would crash the pub and start throwing furniture around and all sorts of crazy shit. He lived uninteresting life. Let's put it that way. Being president was one of the more normal things that he had to do. He probably found it boring more than anything else. But he would not want to be on the $20 bill. He would be enraged if he were here and if he could answer to it himself in his own words. He'd probably say, "What the fuck are you people doing? Why did you think that I wanted to be on the currency? You people make no sense. Did you not listen to any of my presidential speeches against central banking? Screw you." And then he would disappear because he'd be so angry. He'd be shaking his head as he slowly faded away back into the netherworld. That's about all. Peace out.